let's talk about the Vivint Smart Home Arena, because that's new as of the last couple of years, and you've done a whole remodel. I mean, that massive screen. It's a beautiful, beautiful setup. But even more so is the new guest experience. And I know part of it is like a sales, it's spearheaded by sales, right?
Sure,
initiative.
part of this, yeah.
But then there's that marketing aspect of, you guys already created a really fun, dynamic, awesome guest experience. But what went into what you unveiled just in the last season or two?
No, it's a great question. And, a lot of people ask, why do you spend $125 million and invest that into Arena, which quite frankly, when you get down to the details, was a very well built building and didn't need a ton of structural improvements or anything like that. But sports and entertainment is changing. What people expect and what the fans expect from those experiences has changed greatly over the last little bit. You talk about the sales side of it. Part of that is a premium experience. There are high demands across all the four major sports for increased premium opportunities. Businesses are becoming aware of the value in being able to entertain clients and leverage some of those experiences into successful business negotiations. And so part of that was driven by, okay, we need to go in and we need to improve that experience, provide a different array of seating options and to cater to all different levels of fandom there. But part of that from our standpoint, and this started even before we ended up doing the renovation, was how do we you can't always control what's going to happen on the court, right? I mean, we may have great players, we may have a team that's competing. Luckily right now we've got a fantastic team, great personalities, but that may not always be the case. But people will still come and want to experience that, not just for what's on the court. Quite frankly, it's becoming more about what's off the court than what's on the court. And so we had employed kind of a research process in this where we had formed a partnership with Qualtrics here, part of Silicon Slopes. Yeah. And we had done set up some research, wanted to do some qualitative analysis on what our fans really wanted. So the key thing started with what they wanted. So we did a year's worth of surveying prior to try and understand what some of the needs were on that. We took that feedback, and that's what drove a lot of the different experiences. We learned that people wanted an opportunity to create memories. I think it's 46% of our attendees come with a child. And so that's a different experience than, four guys or four gals that are going out for a night out on the town that want to get some good food at the arena and have an entertaining time while they can chat and socialize. And so we wanted to create some of those memorable experiences. I think some of those include like the J-Note that we put out on the plaza. The number of people that come early want to make sure that they get their photo in front of that and share that they're there and they're part of, what's so exciting is fantastic. And it's been very well received. And there's areas throughout the entire arena that allow you to, if you want to socialize, there's great opportunities up on in our Ford fan zone. We've got some standing room only up there with drinks and snacks and everything up there, where it's a great environment to socialize, at the same time catch the game. But then there's also the food has become a big component too.
The food is so good. I mean,
Yes.
I remember going to the Hundreds Club, like upstairs, but I mean, and it was like all you could eat shrimp and all the good stuff. And then the Ford Club, where it's opened up to more than just that first few rows of seats. And it's gourmet.
Great.
But then you also get the popcorn and the hot dogs. You get anything that you want.
Well, and I think that's the key part too, is we want stuff that appeals to everyone though. There are some of those clubs and those clubs, tickets into those can be fairly expensive. And so that's why we want to do to elevate the entire food experience. And that came from partnering with some of our local restaurateurs here in the Salt Lake Valley. That's bringing in Cubbies. That's bringing in Maxwell's. That's bringing in R&R Barbecue and others. Iceberg Shakes. I mean, we consume. What's an interesting fact is being in Utah, we consume. I don't know what the X amount is, but an extraordinarily amount of ice cream, more so than any other place. Now our alcohol sales are down a little bit, but we make that up in ice cream. But that's what people want when they come. Mm-hmm. They want more than just the on-court experience, and we've tried to give that to them.
And I have friends who they absolutely want to sit in the very top row, the very top seat, the nosebleeds, and that's their experience for them. Yeah. But what I love is that wherever you enter the arena, you can't even take 4 or 5 steps before there's someone there to help you.
Yes.
No matter what seat you have.
Yeah.
And it's impossible, considering the size of it, to be lost.
Sure.
To feel like you're underserved.
Yeah.
To feel like you're not important.
We have one of the greatest guest services staff out there, in my opinion. I've been to a lot of arenas, and they're friendly, knowledgeable, always willing to go out and help, because we want that experience to be unique. What's interesting is a lot of experiences, especially with families with young kids, is Disneyland, right? Y'all dream of that time where you go to Disneyland and you experience everything great about Disney. Well, you can replicate that not only for young kids at that age, but as they start to grow older, we look at that, especially for teenagers. It's not necessarily Disneyland anymore for a 14 and 16-year-old siblings with mom and dad. Their experience is going out to a jazz game, maybe having an opportunity to get an autograph, to go in and get great food, to sit low, to scream and yell with mom and dad and not get yelled at by mom and dad, right? So it's great.